Children take the second set here, or rather take the second game, and win it in a 2-0 victory.
The match starts soon.
All
And
right.
I am back.
Welcome back,
Chance
Jesus.
to nail down
Thank
your
you, bud.
strategy.
Alright guys, so the second game is now getting started once again. It is Outplayed by Children, spawning over here on the south side of the map in the char base, going up against Canada and Physics, spawning over here on the north side of the map in the Ascalonian base. Gates about to open up, so let's open up our map and check out the splits. And now, as we can see, coming out of the gates, we are going to see 2 members of the blue team going towards their home point. We're going to see 1 member of the red team head towards their home point. So if they do see crosses, unfortunately, we will not. However, that would have left Ricky a bit open. Red team as well is not going to head for the far point, and as such, that is going to leave a little bit open on middle. But again, as it is Aerox here, Aerox should be able to get to middle very quickly once again and make up for that difference. And really, you can see this too. Very passive mid fight on the opener here. But you can see over here Lucy jiving in over here onto Hibba, trying to go for a bit of early damage on him, taking him down to about 70% health. But again, where it's not going to be too much. Nas actually coming in here right now. Hibba, nice reaction time over there, popping off his Berserker stance there too, and being immune to those Connies. So Hibba for the time being is going to be okay. He'll be able to retreat, get himself back up with Healing Signet, and be back in the fight in just a second.
Yeah, it looks like a really defensive mid-fight this time. Not so much people going ham and trying to dive in yet. Lucy was the only one who's really pushing, and looks like they're trying to... First they were pushing Hiba, and now they're pushing Q, but they've both backed up to the third tier here. Looks like Da Vinci is overextending on them. Don't really see why, but we'll see how it works out.
I've heard that that's just something Da Vinci does. Is Da Vinci is a very aggressive player, and he does like to extend over there, so that might explain the reason for why he's doing that at the moment. But anyway, again, we are seeing red team starting to get the cap. Again, nice reaction time here once again from our red team. Wakey instantly going down, and Hiva and Da Vinci and the other 2 members of the red team right there, ready to get the res off, and almost instantly brought him back up into play. This is a really nice job. Lucy going down here as well. We are seeing Happy Kid along with Dav trying to bring him right back up into play here right now. Double res coming off. We did see over here that Happy Kid is going to get brought down here. We are going to see Lucy being able to get back up into player, but Happy Kid is not going to be the case for him. He's going to get eliminated, and that's going to be our first kill, I believe, right there. Knocking him out. Wakey is also going to be going in along with Da Vinci, so some nice pressure coming off from the blue team here. We are going to see probably both of them get eliminated. There's really no res pressure coming up from either of them. Dav's probably going to stay down. Wakey was just knocked out here. So, with that said, the first middle fight, well, it looked like you can see here, too, they were 1 tick away. Well, it looked like it was going to go in favor of the red team. It's now going to flip itself completely around, and it looks like it's going to go into control of the blue team.
Yeah, I think it was a bad decision on the red team to start rezzing the Thief, as they just suffered so much damage from Cleave that Happy instantly went down, and Da Vinci and Wakey were followed suit pretty quickly. It looks like Happy was able to get back on Node, though, and prevent them from capping, but we'll see how long he'll be able to last against the entirety of the blue team here.
And again, we are seeing at the moment Happy Kid loaded up with Connies, was able to cleanse few from there, but again, Aerox coming in, knocking him out there with a Heartseeker, take him into the downstate, and with that Glow will execute a stomp with Black Powder assistance, take him out, and we will start to see, we don't actually have the full cap just yet, so we're going to see Nas Wakey along with Dav now rejoining the fight as well too, so no full cap will come up here with the blue team just as of yet. They'll keep things rolling and keep it contested for the timing, as you would generally speaking come to expect from a legacy fight.
Yeah, that's pretty standard here. What happens for the most part, they just kind of funnel in, and we'll see if our team can turn it around this time and actually win out this mid-fight.
And again, as we go back into it here at the moment, we are seeing once again Dav being the main focal point here for the blue team. They're going to swap it up temporarily, though, as Nas did end up jumping into the fight over here. He is taking a bit of damage here at the moment, might end up going down. Hiba going directly and does get pulled back there. I believe that was Happy Kid was able to pull him out of the way there for the timing, get away from Nas, but Nas still ending up in the downstate. He is very close to his red team friendlies there, and that's just they are going to be able to bring him back up. SR and I think a couple other cooldowns were used in the process, however, so a lot was just bring him back up into play here. We'll probably see Lucy go down, but again, Lucy's completely out of the fight there, so they should have no trouble bringing him back up. However, they actually left him down there. Nas was right next to him, but for whatever reason, didn't go for the active res. Not sure if it was a lack of communication or whatever was going on, but we did actually see Dav getting knocked out there a couple seconds there too, so again, lack of a bunker guardian really going to hurt the red team over here in the midpoint, and once again, this could be the sign we need here to see our blue team take full control of the middle node point.
Yeah, it looks like they made the same mistake. They got hit by down pressure, and they just got cleaved out. They kind of spread out there, too, at the end there. As you can see, Lucy kind of dying behind a pillar, no one going to res him. Nas dying on blue team's side for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there either.
Nas is pretty famous for trying to far a lot. I don't think it's a very good idea, as Necro doesn't have a lot of ways to pull himself out of it once he gets engaged into a fight, but you can see the penalty happen here. Nas going down and not being able to help his team in the fight where they're pushing, and it looks like they're going to be pushing into a Blues home node.
And as we can see, that fight has already begun. It's in full swing. Q already in the down seat here right now. Not going to be able to get him back up. Nice stomp coming off there from DaVinci. We are seeing Lucy getting focused pretty heavily here at the moment, though. May see him going down very soon. Does have an SR available, though, so he's going to be able to throw himself into that. Did get hit by quite a few Condis before that happened, though. You can see he's just teetering on the edges right now. Coming in a stealthy right now. Condis may knock him out, and they actually are going to take him down. That was apologies, that was H-Man that was, or Heba, not H-Man, sorry. Heba that was able to take him completely out of the fight here at the moment. We do see that Dav now come in and trying to get the res off onto Lucy at the moment, trying to see if it's going to happen as well. Going over here to Dav's point of view, might not be happening. I think Dav learned his lesson from last time. Is not really going to be going for the active res on the team's thief there, and as such, it's going to bring him back down to a 2v2 with neither team having the advantage here for the time being.
Yeah, it's never really a good decision to bring up the thief in most cases, just because of the pressure that down goes on a thief. But it looks like they were able to just stomp out physics there. So it's still a 2v2 as Heba was able to come in and reinforce. So we'll see if Blue can pull this back. But it looks like it's in Red's favor as Aerox is taking some pretty heavy damage.
See over here, Happy getting off the node here too, getting hit up pretty heavily by Aerox at the moment. Was able to block a lot of that with the gear shield though, so good job on getting the damage. And we almost saw the decap going there. A bit of a miscommunication for the blue team. Both of them were off node there. We saw a bit of the decap going off. And Aerox over here getting absolutely decimated by Lucy, coming off the respawn right back over here into the waterfall point. So Aerox once again in the downstate. Dav, however, is also going to be going down right now. We got a bit of a stomp race coming off, and it looks like, Happy Kid going to be able to be the first to get that stomp. Aerox is going to get knocked out here right now, and Dav will be brought back up into play once again, bringing this back up to a 3v2 in Red Team's favor. But now you can see over here, we did see Q look like he wanted to try and fall back, but we have had this mid fight going on for quite some time here too, and it has been resulted in a full decap while we've been watching the waterfall point for quite a bit of time. So what is going on over here, Keezus?
Well, basically, while everyone was over busy at Waterfall, Wakey and Nas were able to pull into the mid-fight, and the kind of pressure a Hambo and a Condi Negro can bring is just devastating, and Hugh wasn't able to keep up and just didn't get reinforced in time. And they were able to get the decap just because Nas has to do it to survive, but it looks like Heck and Aerox were able to reinforce in time, and they did get the stomp on Wakey there, so I don't think this is really going to be too beneficial to the Red Team.
And Red Team really transferring over to this node too. We have Dav coming over here, was on the waterfall for quite a bit of time, but they did finally manage to win that fight as we were moving away from that. As such, Happy Kid was the one to finally execute it, but he's going to move off the node, and it probably is going to get decapped, so after all that work, they are going to lose that node right away, but there is the promise of getting control of the actual graveyard point here very soon, as they did have quite a hefty lead. It has deteriorated the sort of that huge advantage they had now, as we saw Aerox, Physics, and I believe one other member of the blue team, Heck specifically, have gone on to that node now, and they're all fighting for this, so it's a fairly even fight, but for the time being, Red Team controlling the quarry node, and we are going to be seeing the blue team getting back control of the waterfall node in just a second, with our blue team holding about a 80-point lead here for the time being.
Yeah, and if you couldn't see that, it looks like Happy tried to go into mid, saw that Q was going back, tried to get back there, missed his pull on the tool belt, and realized that not a good idea for an NG to go against a Necro and die instantly. So he's back here in the mid fight, trying to push onto Arrow right now.
I mean, do you think he should have stayed at Waterfall, or should he have come to mid, considering that they were getting pretty close to capping it? Or do you think it might have been a better choice for him to camp there because they had the 2-cap?
I think it's a good idea on Happy's part to go back to midpoint. I think he just would have been killed fairly quickly on far, as there's no reason for an NG to stay and fight an Echo. There's absolutely no reason. And it looks like it's a pretty equal mid-fight, although Lucy is down by himself, and he might get the self-res.
Lucy, this has been a couple times now where Lucy has gone down, but hasn't actually, and yeah, he will get the self-res out there, by the way. Lucy's gone down, but they haven't actually gone for an active res on him, even though it looked like he was in a pretty good spot to get rezzed up. I mean, I'm not sure if he's just not on comms or anything, but is there a reason for that, besides the fact that he's just on a thief? I
think it's mostly the reason that thief, and after that first mid-fight, I think they're a little hesitant to start rezzing him, because as you can see, that it wiped them at the mid-fight there. Yeah. So they're just waiting to see if he's in a good spot or if they're going to cleave him down. And for that part, it was mostly a good decision, just because it was Blue Team's mistake to not stomp him out.
Yeah. All right. So
but it looks like Blue has pushed them out of the mid altogether.
So we are going to see the Red Team now getting pushed out of the graveyard point. Blue Team will take control of that, and Blue Team getting really close to taking this game, and honestly, they're closing in on 400 points. They've actually stolen away the quarry node from the Blue Team here right now. Physics will be capturing that in just a second. We are going to see Wakey coming up to contest that, but you can see here at the moment the Red Team really just getting pushed completely back into their spawn here. Taking a look, Dav just hanging out on the road, heading over to Waterfall at the moment, and he's going to be followed suit by Heba, so we won't see a decap in that regard, even if they did head over to the Waterfall. But at the same time, we also see that Happy Kid's here, so they may be able to track that over towards that point. But again, because we saw there that Heba had been given adequate time in order to see where the red team was going. And oh, that was actually a really nice, ring of warning there coming out from that. Pretty much denied Heba's Earthshaker there. But again, because Heba had seen them moving over to this point in quite a bit of an advanced time, there was no decoy that was going to go off there, and blue team was able to rotate appropriately. So in all honesty, with that sort of thing happening there, I think that's the game, pretty much.
Yeah, it looks like blue team's just going to be able to control this 2-cap, and they even had a 3-cap for a while, but Wakey was able to push physics away from their home node. I don't think it would do them any that good because they're just wiping over here at far and in between points. They're just not as coordinated as they were last game.
All right, so with that, pretty sure, guys, this is going to tie the setup at 1-1 now. Congratulations to Canon Physics. They basically got the game in the bag at this point. And now moving on to Temple, which will be the third map. How do you think that one's going to go?
That's definitely going to be an interesting fight. Temple's such a different map with the buffs. It doesn't really seem like any team would have a direct advantage. Although I feel like in the close quarters, a Necro and an NG pair are going to almost devastate the other team. But, you know, they lost the mid-fight here, so we'll see what happens.
All right. We're going to be going to that game in just a second, guys. Once again, we just got to wait for the loading screen. But again, the set is tied at 1-1. And yeah, first game 3 of the night.
Great game so far.
Indeed.
Yeah, Arrow with his hips carrying the team, I gotta say.
All right, so going back now, we have this loaded in. Once again, we are on Temple of the Silent Storm, just going over the map mechanics for those of you that may be newer to Guild Wars 2 PvP as we open it up and check things out. As with all Guild Wars 2 Conquest maps, it is a 3-point capture map. One located directly in the middle called the Gate Point, and one located close to blue team's spawn, which their spawn is technically speaking like here on the map. One located close to their spawn right over here called the Altar, and one located close to red team's spawn back over here, which is called the Temple. Now, this map, again, as with all Guild Wars 2 maps, does have a secondary objective to consider, and that is the buffs. We do have buffs that spawn over here as well as over here, and I believe those spawn every 2 minutes, Kizos? What are... Kizos?
What was that?
What are Ferocity spawn times?
Ferocity?
Yeah.
2 minutes, I think that's right.
Every 2 minutes, right? I think.
Yeah, that's right.
But as well, we do have a buff that spawns right over here at the top, towards the middle, right in between the Altar and the Temple. That spawns at 11:30, 8:30, 5:30, and 2:30. And when you capture that buff, that doubles the value of your captured points. If you're holding 2 capture points, you'll be getting 4 points every 2 seconds. If you're holding 3 capture points, it'll give you 6 points every 2 seconds. And again, with 1 point, it'll give you 2 points every 2 seconds. And there is another buff located down below in this cave as well. That buff will spawn at 8:30 and 2:30. When you channel that buff, and it has a very long channel time, all 3 points will flip into your favor. And all 3 points will flip into your favor, and you also knock any opponents on that node off the point as well for a short amount of time. So I believe we are waiting for a swap at the moment. Yeah, one of the red team members is going to swap off.
Happy Kid is switching off NG. What do you think is that advantage or advantage switching to Mesmer Blue? What do you think about that?
I think it's an advantage personally. They're gonna have Portal, so they're gonna be able to, and with the verticality of this map, especially with the cave and all that, that should be a pretty hefty advantage for them to have something like that to move around the map with.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think some Portal plays, especially with the 2 buffs there, can really change up the fights going on. We'll see if Happy Kid can use it to their advantage.
In terms of its damage, trying to see here at the moment, they're gonna obviously lose the Condi that the NG is gonna bring, but what do you think the extra burst is gonna do?
I don't know. Well, Happy's a pretty solid Mesmer. He was taught by the great Ellen Ari. We'll see if he can, land his burst properly. I think it's actually, if paired well with a Hambo, it can do some dangerous damage. But we'll see if they're able to combine and make it deadly,
And he is running with Shattered Mesmer, by the way. Not going to be chaotic interruption build, running with 2020-0030 at the moment.
Yeah, pretty standard Shatter build.
All right.
Nothing shiny about it.
Yep. Pretty much the standard for what we've come to expect from Mesmers ever since... How long has that build existed? Like over a year now, right?
Long time.
Yeah, long time. But anyway, guys, here we go with the third and final round of this set. It's Outplayed by Children versus Canada and Physics. Once again, Outplayed by Children are going to spawn over here on the right side of the map on the red team, and Canada and Physics is going to spawn on the left side of the map on the blue team. The game has started, so let's open up our map and check out the splits. And we are going to see two members of the blue team jumping into stealth. Once again, Happy Kid as well as the Thief over here are going to both jump into stealth. Nos as well is going to be within range to support them, but let's see where they are going. As again, we see both the blue team, Necromancer, and Thief are grouped up over here as well. And it looks like our red team tried to go for a cross. They saw that blue team was ready for that, however, and now they turn themselves back around and are going to go for a bit of a push here on mid, and that may be working very well for them too. The sun shift in their push here, as you can see, Hack is taking quite a bit of damage. He may end up going down though, but good support coming in here from Aerox. Managed to get, I believe, a stolen Necromancer Fear off on there, giving Glow a little bit of room to breathe. Glow still had to go off the point though, and once again, that did give the red team a little bit more of the capture juice here, but trying to see again, Glow getting bursted on. He may end up going down here very soon. Oh, trying to see, Crate was throwing it on him too, I believe. Trying to see here right now, actually, no, sorry, it was Physics' Crate that was thrown down, but Nos coming in with the stomp. It didn't connect again. We saw Glow going into stealth. SR was thrown there just a couple seconds ago by blue team members, but I think we saw, I'm trying to see who's, I think this was an enemy, yeah. Enemy Sanctuary was thrown down here, and this, almost allowed them to get the stomp off over there onto him, but unfortunately he was just able to get himself back up. Physics as well had gone down, but nicely done there, getting him back up into play, and once again, blue team looks like they have survived the initial onslaught. And look at all the condies on the red team here, too.
It's, yeah, this condi pressure is just insane. It looks like Arrow overextended a bit and actually got Happy Kid down there. Wakey was able to help him back up, though. It looks like Arrow suffered and went down for a second, but they were able to easily res him up. And you can see that Happy, with this change of Mesmer, is doing a lot more burst damage, but they're just not being able to connect the stomps right now.
And as you can see here too, again, Happy Kid in the downstate. Aerox as well is also in the downstate, but he is going to be getting back up pretty easily there. Happy Kid as well, I believe, was brought back up to play. Nos over here too, probably going to be going down very shortly. Trying to see Physics coming in there. One little tap will take him down. No one from the red team's around here. They need to get someone over here now. Bring him back up to play. It's not going to be happening. Physics will get the S stomp off.
Stomped out on the midpoint.
And that is not going to be good
here.
It
looks like Heba is going down, actually. It doesn't... Nas and Da Vinci both got stomped out of the mid-fight, so it looks like this fight is going in Blue's favor. Although Heba and Arrow are down, but they are able to get Heba back up. I don't know if they'll be able to res Arrow back up. It seems like he's taking too much damage, but they're going to give it a try.
Wakey killed himself in the process of trying to kill Aerox. They should be able to bring him back up, and yeah, they're also going to stomp Wakey out, get him rallied up there. Nice damage coming off from Happy Kid onto Aerox as he got rezzed up. Once again, Aerox was able to get himself out of there, and he's probably going to be jumping on a Happy Kid as soon as he gets the opportunity. But while all this at the middle has been going on, we did see decaps at both of the side nodes over here. We do have a 1v1 going on between Mr. Lucy as well as Q-Hu back over here at the temple, back over at the altar point, and then back over here at the temple as well. We saw Nos just recapturing that as Physics did leave that 1v1 just a few seconds ago.
Yeah, it looks like Physics, again, with the NG versus Necro combination, did not want to fight that, and Nos was able to easily capture the point there. And it looks like Lucy just got +1 pretty quickly there. Arrow jumped in for the kill, and they'll probably stomp him out.
Happy Kid as well is down here too, so they're going to get them both, and they're like bleeding them out here too. The question is, did they see Lucy going down? Because I think he was in stealth when it was kind of like they accidentally poked him down there as he was going into SR, so he might be able to get a selfie off, but it doesn't even look like he wants it at the moment. Yeah, he's going to go up top here.
I think he just teleporting up to try and get seen, so he can get killed pretty quickly.
They're not taking the bait though.
They're not really taking. It's not, Lucy is able almost get these self-res off, and
I think he could have gotten the self-res off there, personally speaking, but...
Sorry, cut out. I don't know, because Q-Hu was guarding the point. I think he knew he was there. He's just letting him bleed out, let him know he's there. I don't think it would have been a good idea to try for that. But as you can see, a stillness fight is going to develop here. It looks like Happy's going for the back cap on their home node, but Q is chasing right after him. Going to start a little 1v1 over here. Who do you think is more in favor in this fight, Blue? Necro or Mesmer?
Where are we at over here? At the altar point, yeah? I think Q-Who's got it, personally, and we already see at the moment here Happy gets falled back, so I think Q-Who's basically got in the bag.
Yeah, Happy can't really handle that kind of condi pressure.
Back over here once again at the buff, we can see no one really committing to it just as of yet. Both teams are really just sort of sitting on their respective sides, poking away at each other. Happy Kid has sort of dived in over here on the Physics for the time being. We did see Temporal Curtain going off with their nice burst going over here on the Physics. However, again, Physics was able to pop Elixir S in the middle of that and negate quite a bit of that damage. There was Aerox as well as Q, who are over on the left side as well here at the moment, going in for that damage. Trying to take down Da Vinci at the moment, who is over here. And then back in mid, too, we also have a very large fight going on at the moment with Nos as well as Lucy and Wakey going up against the prospective members of the blue team. And really good focus going over here onto Heba. Will be able to knock him into the downstate. No stomp pressure coming off just as of yet. And they actually are going to get him back up as Nos, I think. Yeah, Nos was taken down just a couple feet away over here.
There. Looks like Wakey was able, I believe, Wakey? No, I'm sorry, wrong team. Looks like Q was able to get the stomp on him and clear him out there and res Heba back up. But Heba able to get Wakey down before he goes down. Who will get the stomp first?
Lucy's down here as well, though, and it looks, yeah, with that, blue team's got this one, basically, knocking them both out there, so blue team will be holding on to this. The buff, though, we do have to note that while we were looking at the mid-fight, the buff actually did go into the favor of the red team, outplayed by children, so while the blue team does hold a 2-cap right now, the red team also, as well, technically holds a 2-cap, because they do have the buff along with the one other node that they hold here. But as well, considering that's a 2-2-cap, we are seeing the blue team will be holding on to the lead for the time being, which, again, is about a 100-point lead for the time being.
Yeah, it looks like Heavy was able to beat Physics out on the buff and grab it for them real quick, but I don't know. They suffered pretty dearly in that mid-fight as Lucy and Vinci, I believe, went down. And if you couldn't see, Lucy was able to get a Shadow Refuge down before he went down, but kind of teleported out of it. If you want to die faster, or not the best decision.
But again, going back up over here, we did have a bit of a skirmish going on right outside the temple node. Nos again trying to sneak in over there to that far node to steal it away, but that did not happen at the same time. And then we also see that here comes Lucy coming in, trying to get onto Q, who at the moment put a lot of damage on him. Q is going to come over, might try to stomp out Nos, but he has to be very careful of the Thief, obviously. We are going to see over there Q getting a rotation off there from his Deshra, going on Lucy at the moment. Lucy, though, still alive and fighting, although once again, he does have that weakness charge that's going to negate his damage there. And again, there comes Aerox in with some more burst, basically taking out Lucy with one combo there, going to knock him out and again stop all that pressure that was coming in there from the red team. And now we did see 830 buff spawning, checking out what's going on down bottom. Oh my goodness, no one for the blue team is there. Happy Kid's gonna get a free channel on bottom buff. That is not good indeed here for the blue team, but once again, blue team did also get a free channel on the top buff. Now it's off to red team. They need to move around the map quickly, get to those other 3 nodes, and hold a solid grasp on all 3 of those points.
Yeah, that was a pretty big mistake on blue teams not to send anyone down the bottom buff and they're happy to get a free cap. Although they did then get a free cap on Stoness, we'll see how it turns out. It looks like Q is getting the cap on their home node, Altar, I believe. Getting a free cap, and Noskok is over on the home node fighting Aerox, but Aerox is ported out. And it looks like it's just going to develop into a pretty big mid fight again.
Yeah, once again, both of our other groups from both teams here are really going to go for mid. We are seeing here over in mid at the moment, Dav starting to get quite low. He may get taken out. Heba as well over here mid starting to get a little bit low too, so it's going to come down to probably a race here between stopping out Dav, and it looks like blue team's going to win the race there. They will knock out Dav once again, take him down, and Heba will get back up into play over here in this middle fight. So again, seeing what else is going on. Both the Necromancers are sort of sitting close to home, but Nos is going to commit over here to the mid fight now, as they did start taking really start to fall behind here with the elimination of their bunk guards. So they really need some extra pressure coming into play over here. Nos, however, is going to start to take a lot of damage from Physics as well. Actually, no, he's not going to take any damage from Physics. He's going to put the damage onto Physics, knock Physics down, and go for the stomp on him, and knock him out there. Nice plague stomp there by Nos, knocks him out of play, and it looks like red team may just be able to retaliate over here. But once again, we see people going down left and right.
Lucy are going down here.
Wakey very low too. Yeah, Wakey's very low too. But they weren't able.
Yeah, they're just getting really cleaved here, and it's hard to see a clear win because both teams are just getting spiked and respiked.
It looks like red team, though, does do a better job on the stomps, and I think with that, that's like they're saving grace here in the mid-fight. Had they not been able to pull a lot of those off properly, they would have easily been knocked out of this middle point.
Yeah, and it looks like red team has a pretty solid 2-cap right now.
They may come back. We're going to have to see.
This could turn into a good comeback. Turned out to be a pretty good game, although Lucy goes down again over here. It seems like Arrow is just able to kind of outmaneuver Lucy with a dagger pistol, and he's just not able to react fast enough to Arrow. And it's turned out to be a major disadvantage for the red team.
So again, our red team holding quite a line of defense over here, really just trying to stop, as blue team really looks like they want to try to commit to the red team home node, but red team is already here and formulated, so that may not be the best choice just as of yet. Happy Kid is making his way up onto the point right now, is going to be followed by 2 members of the team here, of the blue team here at the moment. We are seeing Physics as well as Heck following him, and he may be slow and he may not be able to get on the node here. We are going to see Lucy coming up though, getting ready to throw some bursts on these guys. Happy Kid as well as the Thief from the red team. It's going to be a lot of bursts, but Physics was able to get out of the way of a lot of, did pop his Elixir S in the process, though, so once again, it is going to be without that cooldown. And Lucy is still heavily chasing Physics here at the moment, so it is going to be continuing that burst, trying to knock him out here. Physics sitting about 50% health here at the moment. Both those guys may end up down very soon. We also saw back over here in mid that Happy Kid did lose a 1v1 to Aerox, and this will open up Stillness for a free cap, basically, for the blue team, but we do see Happy Kid eliminated. But again, Portal, we did see that Nos came through that portal at the last second there, and once again, the buff is going to be up for grabs for both teams down at this point, and it looks like Nos should be able to win the 1v1 versus Aerox and get control of the buff for the red team now, too. So really quick flip of the scenario there.
Yeah, as they were trying to push, Happy Kid had his portal up conveniently at Stillness, but Aerox was standing on the portal waiting, and as Happy Kid ported out of the pressure, he ported right into a backstab.
Look at that, too. For Nos pulled out of there, and that might have been GG, basically. Nos basically just gave the... gave the buff to Physics.
Free cap Stillness, which pretty bad move.
I mean, like, he didn't have much of a choice in the scenario, but...
Admittedly, yeah. But,
wasn't able to get the decap. Wasn't able to get the decap though. So for the time being, this is not over just as of yet. And it looks like red team is going to hold on to a 2-cap. Keep in mind they have left the gate open. Gate is still wide open. Back over here at the altar though. Looks like blue team may be getting. No, actually, don't want to call it just yet. Aerox just went down over here. This could still go either way. He's been going in for Stomp. He does have stab. Wakey will be unable to interrupt that. He will take him down, leaving only Wakey here. But again, Wakey on Hamble. That's still a very tanky force. They are going to have to eliminate. And with Aerox leaving the fight, that is going to open it up for both teams here now. Blue team needs this point. I don't think it was a good decision for Aerox to leave.
Yeah, and it looks like Lucy was actually able to get a pretty good jump on Arrow right there.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Arrow should have probably stayed there and just 2v1 against Wakey real quick, because that was the only node that they had a clear advantage. But it actually looks like Lucy is going down in this 1v1 with Aerox.
Nice juke by Lucy there, though. Lucy
and it looks like Nothcock was able to reinforce him, though, and get Arrow down and control the midpoint.
So not only Lucy being able to survive the onslaught of both Q and Aerox by getting out of there just in the last second, but Nos came in to support over here at mid, took Aerox down, and guys, I think Red Team might be able to make a comeback over here. They're still keeping a very strong fight back over here at the Temple node. In fact, it looks like they're probably going to win that very shortly. Granted, the bunkers are probably going to be whacking away at each other, so that node will never get capped, but with the Red Team controlling the only node here right now, and they're less than 10 points away from coming back. Other things to consider here, yeah, and Red Team got control of the altar node too. They're going to come back, guys. They might be able to take this game. Blue Team all over the map right now, scrambling to try and find something, but I just don't think they can do it here at the moment. Red Team has control of all three nodes now, completely winning, completely out-dominating them on all three of these points. And with that, Red Team is going to make a swell comeback, take the third game, and Outplayed by Children is going to be moving on to the grand finals of this week's Cup.
Yeah, that was a really great play by the Red Team at the end. And it turned out to actually be a good decision so far and avoid the buff, because they were able to get the decap, and Wakey was able to reinforce just in time, and as Arrow left and got killed by Nos in mid, and that 1v1 against Heba pretty decidedly. As you can, I think Heba's build has a pretty big disadvantage against Wakey's build, because he's not running the hammer trait, Merciless Hammer, and he's running the Confusion. Don't think that's a good 1v1 against Warrior build.
Alright, well once again guys, that is going to be the end of that set. We will be once again taking a very short break, and when we return, we'll be coming back with our second semifinal of the night.